On April 8th at Yale, we're going to have a high-level panel to reflect on the importance of the new encyclical on the environment from Pope Francis. What is an encyclical? It's actually a teaching document from the Catholic Church, the highest level of teaching, in fact, and it's rather rare. So this will be an important occasion for Pope Francis to make a case for the environment, for justice, for the poor. Why is he doing this? He's doing it in large part because of the important climate negotiations in Paris in December. He will issue the encyclical in the summer. He will come to the United States in September. He'll speak at the United Nations for the opening of the General Assembly, and he will speak in Congress at a joint session. He is clearly trying to mobilize people all over the planet for the future of the planet, for the flourishing of life, and putting together this tremendous sense of care for creation and justice for the poor.
One of the responses to this encyclical has come from the science community, and it has been expressed with intense and widespread interest in how this Pope will address the issue. Obviously, Pope Francis is not a scientist, but he does have a Pontifical Academy on the Science, which is certainly advising him. But more than that, Pope Francis is beginning to connect the social justice and the eco-justice issues here embedded in climate change, and scientists realize that this is a significant moral voice addressing climate change issues. So the climate science has run up against such significant denial and obstruction of larger public understanding of the science that what we have lacked in many settings is the moral voice of religious leadership informing congregations, denominations, and the different religions, informing them of the depth of the science and the impact on human communities of widespread climate change. So along with the science community, then, we see policy, that especially the negotiators for the upcoming Paris meetings in December, there's a lively interest, a very generative interest here, that this encyclical will be a game changer, will literally begin to open people's awareness of the science and the policy efforts to generate both nation-state and larger public commitment to behavioral changes and to begin to address what we need to do as human communities to change our behavior.
This is a hugely important moment, and we're going to have reflections from science and law, ethics and religion. And why are we doing this? Because this is the first encyclical of Pope Francis on the environment. In fact, the first encyclical from the Catholic Church on the environment. There are 1.2 billion Catholics on the planet, 2 billion Christians. This will have an immense effect, and especially because Pope Francis has been speaking for a long time on the importance of the environment, on care for creation, on the poor and the suffering of the poor from climate change and environmental degradation. He will put together these issues of ecology, of justice, and poverty in this encyclical. It will have effect on science and on policy and on many others around the planet.